us, Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
And welcome to the Edmonton Expo Centre. It's the SSA Game of the Week. It's an IC Live Procast. It's the Metro Athletic Division I Women's City Championships. The Strathcona Lords will tip off shortly against the Jasper Place Rebels. Welcome everyone. Connor Toffin joined by Eric Fawcett. Eric, we're going to take a quick look just before we get into things as to how both of these teams got here. It was a relatively dominant run to the championships for Jasper Place, 75-36 over Sturgeon, and then 70-51 over Leduc, who won a tight one against Harry Ainley in round one. Strathcona dominating in round one as well against St. Albert, 89-40, and then took down Spruce Grove in what was a pretty close game, just a 7-point win over Spruce Grove, who defeated Ross Shep by 10 in round one, and that'll bring us here. Jasper Place story, Strathcona. And Eric, what should be a really tight matchup between two teams who have played tight already this year.
That's just it. Edmonton women's basketball right now is really probably better than it's ever been, and I do think this is a great representation of the two best teams that deserve to be here. I think that they have both been tremendous, and you can see with the way that they were able to roll through the rest of the bracket that these are the teams that really deserve to be here. And they both play a similar style. They both have tons of athleticism, tons of length, tons of physicality, and we are in for an absolute treat. I know this is going to be a game that's up and down, that's going to be physical, and that is probably going to come down to the final minutes.
We are expecting today to be a high-pace, high-intensity game. And I think, as you mentioned, women's basketball really good in the city right now. And one thing I've learned through the years in games like this, there is nothing ever left to spare in terms of effort that we'll see on the court tonight.
Yo, that's just it. And you look at these rosters, again, talking about how much talent there is. There's also a lot of senior talent that are playing some of their final games with provincials coming up, giving some other opportunities. But the other thing, too, is that there is, looking up down the rosters, it's unbelievable how many of these players are already committed to go play U Sports, go play CCA basketball, which speaks to the level of talent on the floor. But it's also, these are players that approach the game with a lot of professionalism. They take this stuff seriously. They are going to play this game at a really high level, and we really saw it even from the way that they walked into the gym to the way that they went about their warm-ups. This is serious business here. This is going to be a very competitive game.
Get a look there at the Strathcona Lords team. 17-5 coming into the game, provincially ranked number 5, coached by Kyle Palmer. Very dynamic and versatile team, and they play really good defense. Both teams do tonight, but Strathcona specifically a very strong defensive team. Eric, what can we expect to see from the Lords tonight?
Yeah, I think from the Lords, you're seeing a team that really does play kind of that pro style led by Coach Palmer. They're really going to shoot a lot of threes. They are going to really try to get up and down the floor, get a good opportunity early, and they are really going to offensive rebound the ball. That is something that he always preaches, and he even provided us with a number talking about the fact that they get 48% of their offensive rebounds. Now, that might not mean a lot to everyone listening to this, but as a reference point, I mean, the best teams in the NBA and the WNBA will be at about 40%. In college basketball, that number's like a little higher, like 42, 43, like at best. 48% of offense rebounds is incredible. It's a coin flip every time that they miss a shot if they're going to get it back or not. So that is going to be something to watch. Jasper Place, who does have a lot of length, a lot of physicality on the inside, will they be able to keep Strathcona off the glass?
Jasper Place 23-3 on the season. Last time these two teams played, not that long ago, just on February 23rd, Jasper Place won 56-51. As we mentioned, it's going to be a close game. If there was to be a favorite, it's maybe just slightly tipping in the way of the Rebels. They are coached by Lauren Green, ranked number 2 in the province, and kind of a similar play style, a big leaning on their defensive identity as a team.
Yeah, they are. They're probably not going to play quite as fast as Strathcona, but still very, very fast. But when it gets to a half-court game, they're going to slow you down. They're not looking to get out of position by trapping aggressively or doing anything that will give up anything easy. And that's just the way that they can kind of suffocate you. It's long possessions against them. They don't give up anything easy, and then they kind of rely on that athleticism to get them points in transition. And that's where you can really see things start to snowball for Jasper Place's opponents. If they don't make shots, suddenly Jasper Place is scoring on you in transition, and then when they score, they can set their defense, and then you're not able to score on it, and that's why you see one of the best teams in the province.
One of the other things for the Rebels is they have 7 grade 10s on the roster, so when you talk about a team that is already provincially ranked at just number 2, Eric, this is a team that could very well be back and maybe even better.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable to watch them play at the level that they're at. You would have thought they'd be all seniors, and certainly have a couple that are committed to continue their careers at the U Sport level. But they also get a lot of energy off their bench from some of these young players, and for a program that is kind of always at the top of the city, always at the top of the province, you can see that they just reload. And this is would not be surprising if we're talking about this team next year doing the game again.
Got just a little bit of time before we get to a land acknowledgement and anthem, so I want to kind of get a little bit of an introduction from you, who's very familiar with the Edmonton Expo Centre, as to what the venue might play like tonight.
Yeah, we're at Edmonton Expo, Hall D, where the home of the Edmonton Singers. You'll see that logo at half court. Arena here that seats about 4,000, and that's going to be a little bit of a different feel than a lot of the high schools in the city. The way that it's lit, very much almost like a stage at a theater where there's a lot of light right on the court, but things are dark, especially on the ends. And you're also seeing some very interesting shooters lines because of the big amount of space behind both basket, which you don't see at high school gyms.
We'll take a moment for the land acknowledgement and national anthem coming right up. Lords, Rebels.
Respectfully acknowledge that this championship game is located on Treaty 6 land, traditional territories of the First Nations and Métis people. We'd like to acknowledge all the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit who have walked upon and acted as stewards of this land for centuries, as well as honor elders, the keepers of all, both past and present. Please turn your attention to the video board for the Canadian flag and the playing of the national anthem.
For many of these women playing today, this will be the biggest game they have ever played in. Metro Athletics City Championships, Jasper Place Rebels, Strathcona Lords, and we are just about ready to go. It's also the SSA Game of the Week on the SSA Live Procast. One team will go home champions. Lords in the red, Rebels in the white. Tip off and we are underway. It'll be Lord's ball to open it up. Tedaweo goes towards the corner, driving the baseline and trying to kick it out to Okalate. Quick pass back to the outside. Driving the hoop. Rebels everywhere. Smothering defense. Shot put up by Omaye, won't go. And Pastorero goes the other way. Pastorero going to get a lot of touches tonight. Sends it over quickly to Klimek. Gets it right back from Holt. Klimek, quick delay on the outside. Stops her dribble. Busanias in! First bucket of the game. Ambry Busanias.
You see how quickly Strathcona gets up and down the floor, made basket against, and they still get nearly a layup attempt.
Taken away by Pastorero. Impact on both ends early. Rebels playing quick. Backer. Getting towards the post, now gives it back up to Pastorero again. Goes to the corner, open shot for Backer for three. Rims out. Another close one for the Rebels.
Good skip to the corner there, finding a shooter for a good look. But this is where the Rebels are really hard to score on once they can get set here in their defense.
Tedaweo will quickly give it to Glasgow. Apologies, that's Shepard. Puts it up and rims out as well. Lords struggling to take that lid off the basket here through the opening 90 seconds.
Hasn't resulted in a score yet, but they keep getting downhill. They're getting pressure on the rim, but again, this Jasper Place team, bend but don't break. Giving up that initial penetration, but continually getting bodies in front and not giving up anything easy.
Quick pass down low, boy, looked like Okalay might have had a layup open. Ball just tips off the fingertips and out of bounds. Backer will bring it up court for the Rebels. Pastorero now. Looks to be running a lot of the offense from up high today. This is Holt. Back to Klimek. Caitlin Klimek. Another corner three, put way into the air and off the front of the rim. Lords going in transition. Tedaweo, bounce pass. Down low, a quick dribble, and it's up and in off the fingertips of Omaye.
And that's going to be key for Strathcona. Can they force those misses, those tough shots that turn into points on the other end? Going to have to go against Jasper Place once they can get set up defensively.
Pastorero puts it up with the left and in. Eric, these early buckets and the early advantage in a game like this can be so important. Kind of needless to say, but I feel like it's even more accentuated in a championship game.
Well, it doesn't seem like there's too many nerves on the floor. You're always curious, especially in a setting like this, if there's going to be any feeling out purpose, but that does not appear to be the case.
Shot clock violation called against the Lords. I've been fortunate enough to call so many championship games across all sports. And one notable difference, I think, is oftentimes in the regular season, a team gets up big, they might let up. That doesn't happen in these championship games. Sometimes you get those 10, 15-point leads early, and you will just keep running. The momentum doesn't stop. It can be a snowball effect in a game like this. And so far, the Rebels up 7-2 early. Have the advantage in that department. Tedaweo thought about it. Decides to pass it into the post instead. It's off the fingertips. Taken away by Klimek. And now down the court goes Busanias up and in. The Rebels out and running early. And the Lords will call a timeout.
Yeah, you can see Jasper Place really forced that force the ball out of that three-point attempt. Again, Strathcona's looking to get these skip threes, and they're not there. And then as they try to look to that high-low pass, it's denied, and then got a transition layup here. So that Jasper Place defense so far has been very intimidating.
9-2 is the lead. We're just over 3 minutes into this game. Now, we talked about the sight lines a little bit before the game, but it's a little different than what these women might be used to in their high school gyms. Usually you have the wall kind of right behind the basket. The stands are a little closer. The walls on the sidelines are going to be a lot further apart than normal as well. How can that play into a game like today for a team that might be looking to shoot the ball a little more?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not lost on me, coaching with the Edmonton Stingers, seeing a lot of action on the floor here. It's quite notable to me that Jasper Place missed 2 corner threes from the left corner. It is very difficult to shoot those baseline threes in this gym, especially with just the way that the lights are set up. It's very bright. You can kind of lose the rim. So for there to be 2 kind of tough misses from that left corner, that's one thing I'm looking for. It's a tough place to shoot from in this gym.
Tedaweo, a little bit of an opening, kicks it out. This is Glasgow for 3, leaves it short, and it'll be Rebels ball once again.
Yeah, it's a good look from Strathcona, and that's what they kind of live and die with. They're going to take a lot of those threes and just kind of play the percentages, play the numbers that they're going to get back into it when they start to fall. And the other thing, too, is they can be so dominant with their offensive rebounding, which I talked about, but that has not been the case quite yet. So a really good job by Jasper Place so far defensively.
Quick handoff up top, Busenius. A little bit of a jump pass over to Backer. Backer goes to the left. Silky moves from Grace Backer. It's 11-2 Rebels. Near turnover, just kept in by Okalite. Here's Shepard. Tedaweo. Another quick give. Rebels defense swarming again. I believe it'll be Rebels ball.
Yeah, again, just tremendous job by Jasper Place. They force the skip. They have a great closeout. They send the closeout to the baseline. Help comes early, and then it turns into a travel because there's nothing there. And just right now, the pregame kind of plan for Jasper Place, how they wanted to defend this Strathcona team, it looks like it's been executed to perfection so far.
That one went off of a Lord. Glasgow defending, and we'll see our first subs of the game. For Strathcona. Omiai, checking back in. Comes out with Ellie Friedley as well. Busenius goes up top. Shot clock down to 6. Klimek turns, tries to fire it down low, and it's taken away by Friedley. Friedley with a long pass up. Bit of a jump ball there. It was taken by Tedaweo. Puts it up and long. Lords still struggling to find the bottom of the net right now. Quick stop and a 3 is left short by Backer, and it'll be Lords ball. Looks like for the Rebels offensively, they've been giving everyone touches, and then on the other side, the Lords have just struggled to find a rhythm so far.
Yeah, again, for Strathcona, it's the transition's really what they want to do. They want to get it up early, and then in the half court, they usually do want to play a little bit through the post, play inside out, and they haven't quite gotten those touches. So instead, it's been a lot of the skips over the top that have been met with a whole bunch of help. And like you see there's nothing easy at the rim right now.
Another block. Capuire again. It will stay Lord's ball.
And with just 4 seconds on the shot clock here, they're going to have to look for something quick.
Tough pass into the post, shot clock running down. Shot did get off in time and nearly banks in. Rebound will go to Pastorero. Backer. Right back to Pastorero again, now quickly goes to the corner. And Managawan straight to the hoop. And Lords defend that well. Looking to work in transition quickly. Look at the length again of Capuire, but that time Capuire fouls, and that'll send the Lords to the free throw line.
Really good transition there from Strathcona, but just met with length. You almost wondered if there was about to be another shot block, but here they do get the foul, and that's going to be important. They need to get a little bit of that confidence in the transition game.
It'll be 2 shots
At the line shooting for the Lords, number 10, Elliot Friedley.
for Ellie Friedley. First one good, and might not be a bad way for the Lords to get the offense going. Slow it down a little bit, get some Rebels into foul trouble. See if you can get to the line and score with the clock stopped. Pastorero, long pass over to Managawan. Backer, shot clock running down, and just no room for the Rebels to work. It'll be Lord's ball.
So you can see Strathcona did a little full court press that fell back into a zone. First time they've done it so far. Maybe it's something they do after every free throw, but doesn't look like Jasper Place was ready for it. Really good defensive possession.
Oh, physical down low.
Tied up for the jump there, but
It will
that's
go.
the touch that Strathcona wants on the block. Just really good quick hands from Jasper Place. Now you see the press again, and we'll see if they fall back into the zone.
Capuire. Boy, look at that. Another tie-up. Capuire goes to the ground. Was tied up with Okale. 2 straight physical tie-ups, and looks like they're okay. No more bad blood. Eric, just physical basketball there. No ill intent, but sometimes you get that in a championship game.
No, you start ripping at the ball like that. The moment someone lets go, that's a lot of momentum to go elsewhere, and that's kind of 2 straight turnovers forced by the zone press.
Another block for Capuire. By my count, that's 3 already in this game. Lords try the drive, and it's off of Friedley. It'll be Rebels ball again.
Substitution into the game for the Rebels, number 11.
Again, that's straight line drive from Strathcona, but the help is just right there to meet them, and they haven't had that ability to drop it off to a cutter or anything like that, find a shooter. But Strathcona's starting to get a little bit of an edge here with the press.
Ooh, this is going to be a foul on Okale as she ran into Abby Holt.
Lords, number 12.
You don't want to see her pick up too many fouls in the press. You want to see her stay on the floor, but at the same time, I mean, after you forced 2 turnovers, made a pretty aggressive play, almost could have been a steal. Point on the other end. Looks like they might be back into the zone, even though they weren't obviously don't have the opportunity to press. So, see if Jasper Place has something better suited to play against it.
Holt in the post. That one's touched out of bounds. It'll stay Rebels ball. Also kind of worth noting, we are at the end of a long season here, Eric. Leah McGlisco out today for the Lords. Will be out for the rest of the season.
That was a good player, someone who started for them early.
A 3. Managawan. A few missed shots from the Rebels from that same spot earlier. That one will go, though. It's 14-4 early. Here's a shot from down low. Boy, did the Lords ever need that as Okale with the lay-in.
Yeah, tough catch in traffic there, but good passing there from Strathcona. And again, this press is causing some issues.
It was Omayayi with the interception.
It's always something nice to have in your back pocket. If you're not scoring, but you've got that press, get it out there and see if you can create some turnovers, get some points on the other end.
Believe that the Lords should have 6 points, by the way, after that last lay-in from Okale, so we'll keep our eye on that. There we go. Now they've put it up. Right on cue. Quick inbounds pass. Straight to Friedley. Lots of time to work here for the Lords. Still 17 seconds to go on the shot clock. Shepard down into the post. Quick right, and it's up and in from Friedley.
Great touch on that hook, and getting points like that and being able to set the pressure. Again, talked about it early, how when you play this defensive style, how you score, the other team can't get out in transition, you set your defense, especially at the high school level. Things can really shift quickly, and again, you do see Strathcona getting back in this game right away.
Good adjustment by head coach Kyle Palmer to start with that full court press. It's been causing the Rebels some issues, and that offense that had so much rhythm early has kind of stuttered a bit here late in the first quarter. chance for Strathcona to cut it back to 4, or maybe even back to 1 possession. We'll go down low to Oakleigh, goes up with the right, won't go. Quick fight for the ball, and it'll go in the direction of the Rebels.
If you're going to miss, that's the miss you want for Strathcona. Still, the ball goes out of bounds, and they're setting the pressure.
Just no room at all. They do a good job to pass out of it there. Postorero goes to the corner. I believe they might have stepped out of bounds. Managawan just had that right foot on the sideline.
Yeah, not a lot of space there. That's especially when you start seeing those long skips come in. Got to make sure you don't have that negative step backwards.
Not a lot of room on the baseline. That one is out of bounds as well. Shepard couldn't quite keep her footing.
Postoraro, really good defense there.
Long inbounds pass. That was to Managawan. Quickly gives it up. Here's Klimek out to the corner. Here's a shot and a 3 made. Rebels with a big one. Busenius.
Busenius playing a really good game so far on both ends, and now you're seeing her ability to shoot. Comes up with a steal too.
Long pass ahead for Postorero. Managawan finds an opening. Quick midi off the backboard. And then rims out. Here's a shot for Busenius. A little bit of a heat check there will rim out. And the Lords will take it the other way. Trying to work quickly in transition. Rebels defend it well and able to get their half-court defense set. Friedley. Here's a quick entry to the post. Oakleigh turning, and that one won't go. Under a minute left to play here in the first quarter. Another jump ball. And this one will go to the Rebels.
Oakleigh has missed a couple of those shots, but I mean, those are great looks to be able to catch the ball with 2 feet in the paint. Turns to her dominant hand. She's missed 2 of those, but that's been so good for her and Strathcona all year long. So you got to think those are going to start to fall here soon.
Holt stops the dribble, but has an easy outlet over to Postorero. Rebels late, looking to take another double-digit lead, but won't happen here as that pass goes into the bench. Mentioned earlier, we're kind of at that part of the year. It's late, there's injured players. There are players on the court tonight that will be playing through some bruises, some strains. You think maybe that early adrenaline you might get in a championship game starting to wane off. Here's a shot from the outside and won't go for the Lords. The defense played again. That was Glasgow on the attempt. Makes it a little bit easier to play from the lead. Busenius, 8 seconds left to go on the game clock. Krilik up top to Postorero. Not sure if they're going to have time. Oh, there is a foul. A foul called just before we hit zeros. And the Rebels are going to have a chance at the free throw line to get to double digits for the lead right at the end of the first quarter.
Just a backbreaker for the defense when you felt that really good, that defensive possession. You kind of feel the clock coming down, and you look like you got a pretty good contest there, but official was right on it.
Backer, chance to extend the lead to double digits. First one will go. We'll have half a second left. Not really a lot of time for the Lords to do much with it.
Yeah, could see a heave here if this one's made. They'll be able to inbound and see who wants to put up a prayer.
Inbound. Boy, a quick heave. It was definitely off in time, but
had a chance.
Wouldn't go anyways. So after one, it is a dominant Rebels quarter, Eric, out 19-8. And what are the Lords going to have to do to try to come back in this one?
Yeah, 8 points in a quarter is not going to do it. Whether it's they're looking for the three-point shots they've often looked for, whether it's getting that inside established, they've got to find something in the half court offensively.
Lots of work for Kyle Palmer and the Lords. It is 19-8 Rebels heading into the first quarter break.
This game is not yours. Allow the participants to enjoy their accomplishments in a positive environment.
Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
Welcome back to the Edmonton Expo Centre IC Live Procast of the Metro Athletics Division 1 City Championships. Everything going right for the Jasper Place Rebels so far. Connor Toffin joined by Eric Fawcett. Eric, this is a really talented JP team, and so far their number 2 ranking has they've kind of lived up to expectations today. And one of the big things is they have been able to turn a lot of their defense into offense.
Yeah, I don't know how you could look at that quarter and say the Jasper Place really could have defended any better. And their ability to recover on drives, help over without giving up any open catch and shoot threes, without giving any dump offs around the rim, really, really impressive.
Lords will start out with the ball here in the second quarter. We'll also want to take a moment to thank the Government of Alberta, the Sport Physical Activity and Recreation branch of the Ministry and Tourism and Sport with the Government of Alberta is a funding provider to the SSA. The funds received from this area of the government are put towards enhancing the quality of life for Albertans. Big bucket early in the quarter for the Lords, and a quick right. The floater goes for Busaneas. Shepard will go over to Glasgow, right back to Shepard again. A lot of steam on that one. Shepard had to extend out just to grab it out into the corner. Olsen puts it up, goes off the side of the backboard. And the Rebels will take the rebound. I think we've seen a lot of that strong rebounding from the Rebels that we talked about before, and Posterero has been right in the middle of it. Busenius. Holt, quick post touch, and the Lords come away with it. Glasgow goes to Shepard, trying to work quickly. Shepard, a little bit of a drive, goes into the post. Quick turnaround jumper, tough one, won't go. Scramble for the ball, still loose, and it'll go in the way of the Rebels. There was a couple of Lords down. Rebels might have numbers coming up. A quick give, nice passing play to Busenius, but couldn't hit on the layup. Boy, Rebels got a good look, and then almost after the offensive rebound had another good look, but just couldn't quite convert.
Yeah, we mentioned just off the start of the game, there didn't seem to be much nerves, and then coming out in the second quarter here, both teams look to be finding themselves a little bit again. So a couple of buckets on the inside for both teams, but we'll see who can really get established on the inside.
Olsen, defended by Busenius. Another look to Oakley in the post. Nice swing pass out to the corner. And they'll go back up top to Omayayi. That one is touched out of bounds by the Rebels.
7 seconds here. Tough place to inbound from in that deep corner. And against this 2-3 zone, Strathcona hasn't been able to create much.
Long three, and it's in. Boy, did the Lords ever need that. Omayayi from deep.
And you wonder if that's going to break the seal. Strathcona wants to shoot a lot of threes. They haven't gotten those opportunities yet, but seeing one like that fall, could start to see the attempts go up.
Caitlin Klimek. Shot clock starting to run down. 5 seconds to go. Quick layup off the fingers of Backer won't go. Lords back on offense. Even that last three, nothing has come easy for Strathcona. That one defended well by Bosenius. As I was saying, Eric, it's like even the kind of regular passes that you'd see, the chest passes that might come easy in a regular season game, the ones that you would expect to have, nothing has come easy for the Lords so far. And I feel like that plays into everything when you're working so hard, not just to get a good shot, but just to make a pass in the first place makes things so much tougher on an offense.
Yeah, I think you're seeing that with the late shot clocks we're getting into. And here again, as we start to count down, work the ball for, over 15 seconds, then turn it over. That's tough.
Kapure. Amanagawan. She's fouled. First of the quarter against the Lords. It'll go to Tedaweo for first. Not a whole ton of fouling going on in the first quarter. I believe they were just 2-0. Lords fouled a couple times. Had the one late as well. Lords quickly in transition. It's a 2-on-1 fast break, and the layup won't go for Omayayi.
So always tough finishes in transition. If the pass isn't 100% clean, suddenly you start to hear footsteps behind you, and looked like there was a little bit of indecision when there wasn't a clean pass. And for Strathcona, who's so good in that area, that's got to be frustrating.
Friedley will check into the game immediately. They'll go to her in the post, but through the hands. Going the other way of the Rebels. Tough lay-in will go for Pastorero. Out to the corner. And that one off the fingertips of Omayayi. Apologies, that was Julia Russell. And they'll actually say it was deflected by a Rebel anyways. It'll stay Lord's ball. Long inbounds pass once again. Not even those have come easy today. Shepard up top. Screen set by Okale. Okale into the post. 3 Rebels there defending. Okale goes up and gets fouled. No, they'll call it travel.
Yeah, I thought it was a great play there on the baseline drive to see the help rotating over. Hit that cutter, which again they weren't able to do in the first quarter, but even when that comes in again, with how much Jasper Place is flying around, again, just like in transition, sometimes you start to hear footsteps, you kind of feel the defense around you, and suddenly you shuffle those feet. So I feel like that's when you can still chalk up to Jasper Place's defense.
6:34 left to go here in the second quarter. One thing about high school basketball, men's or women's, any division, Eric, is the games go by fast. And deficits of 10 that you can see easily erased, they feel sometimes a little bit bigger. Things can get out of hand a little quicker. It's just so back and forth, and 40 minutes really feels more like 20 a lot of the days.
I think so, especially with the way everyone can shoot the ball now. 10, 15 years ago, people weren't shooting the ball as well as they are now, and once those threes start falling, those leads can start to dissolve quickly. I also think about the way that both teams can really force turnovers. That can be a situation where leads could dissolve a little bit more quickly than you might see at different levels. But I also think you look at both these teams that are getting up and down. They're getting lots of shots up as opposed to turning the ball over. And you're also seeing now an interesting kind of stylistic thing. Both teams have really fallen into playing zone, really keeping the other team on the outside, which means a little bit less fouling. We've seen that, and it's made for a great product. This game's just really flying, and it's been fun to watch.
Feels like we just tipped off a few minutes ago. Lords still settling into that full court pressure. Rebels look to be adapting well to it though. Here's a quick post touch and it's in. Kapwire. Seen her get a few blocks earlier. Long outlet pass, another tie up. And possession arrow this time will go to the Lords.
Yeah, discussion here from the officials.
Oh, now they're going to overturn it. It will go to the Rebels.
One thing we are seeing a lot of is these tied up balls that are going to the possession arrow. So it is got to be doing a better job myself of remembering which way the arrow is going. But it looks like even the officials too had some indecision. So I still like what Strathcona is doing. I mean, they've gotten tied up a couple of times on those rim runs where they've hit it ahead. I still think they need to do that.
drive into traffic, put up with the right. Won't go for the Rebels. That was Amanagawan. Long pass, cross court to Omayayi. Now a 3 is short. Rebound taken by Postorero. Postorero one-on-one in transition. Will take it herself and is fouled by Terueo.
It's a good playoff foul right there. Not dirty, anything like that, but she was making sure that ball was not getting up on the rim.
Might have been an easy lay in there too. Not a bad foul to take, especially when, as we've mentioned, it's a pretty low fouling game so far. No one in any sorts of trouble yet. And the first free throw misses, so Terueo rewarded for her efforts into transition defense.
Yeah, and these are the toughest free throws to shoot. I know everyone talks about like late game, if intensity, the crowd's up. When you've just sprinted 94 feet in transition, and then you get fouled hard, and then you got to shoot. Those are the toughest free throws in my opinion.
Here's a quick look for the Lords offense, and it's in. Terueo.
So that is the Strathcona basketball I've watched this season. Get the ball up the sideline quick, take the first corner 3 you see and hit it. So you got to think that'll get their confidence going a little bit.
The Lords do like to play with pace offensively. They're averaging 80 field goal attempts per game over the course of the season. Tonight, we've seen a lot of longer shot clocks. Wonder if they'll try to get more of those quick looks coming up court as this game progresses. It's also a Strathcona team that has dealt with a lot of adversity throughout the year. 4 of their 5 starters have spent significant portions of the season injured. Here's a quick look with the right. Won't go. Once again defending is Capuire. She's becoming a big difference in this game on the defensive end for the Rebels. They'll go down to Capuire in the post. We'll go up with the left, and it's in.
Really good job by Capuire, who, as the ball was moving on the perimeter side to side, she used that as the opportunity to create the angle, create a really easy entry pass, and she was able to finish immediately. So really smart play by her to move without the basketball.
Capuire defending again. Whistle, and this one will be a foul. I think that left arm got a little low.
Yeah, tough one there. Near official didn't see anything there, so it's I might sympathize there with Capuire.
First free throw is good for the Lords. This is Friedley at the line. Kind of feels like right now, Eric, the Lords just need to get to halftime. They love to get it to single digits or keep it there and hope that their break can bring some adjustments and maybe some momentum going into the second half. It's still been all Rebels here in the second quarter. Here's a 3 from Basenius. Boy, he went all the way around the world and out. It will stay Rebels ball.
Substitution into the game for the Lords, number 12.
Yeah, Strathcona certainly has spurt ability with their ability to shoot the 3, to create turnovers, but you've kind of seen that Jasper Place has kind of solved a little bit of that pressure, and then suddenly there's not a lot there for Strathcona, and they're struggling a little bit more to create those points.
Lords defender went to the ground, but Holt couldn't make the lay-in. Here's a 3. A little too much juice on it from Terueo.
Yeah, that's a great look. That's exactly what Strathcona wants. So it just looks a little bit like one of those games, and like I said, I think those corner 3s are the toughest one to shoot in this gym. So of course wonder about some of those misses they've missed from both corners.
Klimek. Here's a quick trigger on the 3 from Amanagawan. And another look down low, another offensive rebound as well. Basenius will put it in for the Rebels.
And took a pretty heavy shot there, so she'll get an extra one. It's the thing about playing zone, especially once the ball starts to go side to side. Offensive rebounding becomes a major challenge. Bit of a smaller lineup with the wings here for Strathcona.
Basenius will make it a 14-point lead. Terueo lost her dribble and a tough pass. Forces Glasgow out of bounds.
Lords, number 6, Lauren Shepard.
Lauren Shepard did not get a very long rest. I feel like Coach Palmer is kind of maybe starting to see things slip away a little bit, and is getting some of his more experienced players on the floor. And you can see again with this timeout, maybe starting to see that this is a key moment in the game.
3.5 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Feels like this Lords offense tonight has worked best when they've worked quickly. One thing that we've seen a couple times as well, they bring the ball over half court and the Rebels are sending so much pressure that they've been losing their dribble just over half court as well. What kind of adjustments do the Lords have to make just to get better looks?
Yeah, just making sure your entries, whether it's something like a dribble handoff right at the top, if they don't get that initial pass, like I feel like generally they're trying to make sure that they're passing the ball over half court as opposed to dribbling it off. But they're going to dribble and get into that tough corner. They need to get the ball out of there quickly. They got to make sure the near corner is filled, so they have that opportunity. There needs to be a reversal opportunity. Done pretty well to have that high post available at times, but when those all three aren't there, I mean, Jasper Place just swallowing up every opportunity and poking away passes, getting their hands in when there's any drives. And yeah, there needs to be just maybe a little bit of a smoother. There's a very clear plan for Strathcona, what they're doing early in transition. They've had some good opportunities late in shot clocks, but that middle section has been a little bit tougher for them.
We know that the Lords can make the adjustments. Top 3 team in overall Massey rating and offensive rating over 90. Get you to explain that one maybe shortly. Lords force the turnover. Shepard. Defended by Backer. Shepard goes up with the right, won't go. Offensive rebound though for the Lords. That was Okolay.
Yeah, physical
He's
take
fouled.
there. Like that from Shepard. Yeah, so I've got to say I was pretty surprised, pretty impressed to see Massey ratings, RPI, offensive rebound, just to see where basketball has come to in the city right now, where those kinds of advanced stats are available. So, I mean, Massey ratings, something started by an analytics mind named Evan Massey. I mean, some of you will know that term from NCAA basketball with March Madness on Selection Sunday, a way to rank teams based on their strength of schedule, what they did against the best and weakest teams on their schedule. So a number that, you used to see on Selection Sunday in the NCAA, and now we're able to see it for teams in the province. I mean, that speaks to just where basketball is here.
Rebels could have had a wide open look, but hustling back in transition was Glasgow. Will foul Caitlin Klimek, but overall that's a win for Glasgow. Otherwise it would have been an easy 2.
I think you also look at, the pressure was really good for Strathcona at first. Then Jasper Place started to break it, and then they would get into the offense. That's the first time where they broke it and immediately had a scoring opportunity. If they're able to get right out of the pressure and immediately score, that's where things could be in danger zone here for Strathcona. But really, really good job by Jasper Place, who struggled on those first possessions against the pressure to really solve it.
Another long inbounds up top. Caitlin Klimek, long 3. Amanagawan rebounded by Okolay. Okolay will take it herself. Quick hesitation to the left hand, and now a dribble handoff to Shepard. Shepard's gonna pull it. Boy, that one had eyes, but a little too long off the back of the rim. Offensive rebound, a long one for Shepard. A handoff to Omayayi. Omayayi goes up, contested layup, rebounded by Okolay. Okolay goes back up one more time and gets fouled. What worked down low for Afreda Okolay.
All started with the drive from Omayayi. Really good job to get to her left hand. There's no help. She was able to get it on the rim. And once you get that initial penetration and everyone starts scrambling late, suddenly they're not in defensive rebounding position. And that's where you saw Okolay able to take advantage.
Okolay will have 2 chances at the line. First one won't go.
Now this is another one too, where the shooter's eye of the bigger arena than you're used to. These free throws where the distance is the same, but so much space behind the basket on both ends, and it's different on both sides in this gym. But that's also you see that first one was short, and then she adjusts, and then it's perfect. But you need to see that first one to kind of get the viewfinder in range.
Postorero. Lucenius back to Postorero. Double teamed and is taken away. Terueo. Quick pass in transition and a make for Omiyayi. A little bit of momentum here late in the second quarter for the Lords, and the Rebels will call timeout.
Yeah, and that's a really smart timeout. You've got a big lead for Jasper Place. You see kind of the first run of momentum from Strathcona. Use that timeout. You can't take it with you. So I thought that was a really good timeout there.
This is a lot more of what the Lords want to do. Defense turns into offense. An easy transition look for Omiyayi. I feel like we've seen a few of those easier layups missed this game. Probably layups that these women might have not missed throughout the rest of the season. But as we mentioned, it's late in the year. Start to feel the aches and pains that the full season will bring, and then just the general nerves that a championship game can bring. But I think you're starting to sense those maybe dissipating quite a bit by now.
Yeah, and even Omiyayi there in transition to kind of catch a tough pass in transition, get settled, and lay it in softly. Thought that was really good, especially in the play prior. She had a good look to her left hand, shooting that tough offhand layup against traffic. Missed it. It turned into an offensive rebound and a foul, which was great. Then still, again, with the left hand, that's tough to do. Lay that in transition with your offhand. So that's probably a big one. And I do love, though, once Strathcona does exactly what they want to do, get out and run, get layups. There's that timeout there from Lauren Green. I would have done the same thing myself. Really, really smart move there, and we'll see if they can finish these last 2 minutes really strong.
Postorero feeling some pressure from Omiyayi. Stops her dribble and will give it up to Caitlin Klimek. That one got deflected by Okale. And now the Lords going the other way in transition. Another look with the right, a little too long. Okale with the rebound, up with the left. Another offensive rebound for the Lords. This time it's Friedley. She gets fouled.
And this is exactly what Kyle Palmer wants. The playing fast. You play against a broken floor, and there's not the opportunity to get into rebounding position, and that's where you see the multiple chances they get on the rim. And on the defensive side as well, there was about 2 passes prior to the one that actually got stolen that could have been poked away. So you can see the defense has not been lost even when the offense has struggled a little bit. And this could be a little bit of a chance for Strathcona to get back in the game in these final minutes.
Friedley missed on the first. Same thing we've seen earlier. A little short on the first. Readjust. And true on the second. Postorero. A little bit of momentum late in the second quarter for the Lords. Amanagawan. It's tipped away. Breakaway on the fast break for Shepherd. It's in. 7-point game. Just over a minute to go in the first half. Amanagawan will give it to Postorero. Postorero, shot clock starting to run down, now in single digits. Amanagawan has nowhere to go with it. Postorero, down to 5 seconds. It's blocked by Okale. Another transition look for the Lords. And good transition defense by Caitlin Klimek will poke it out of bounds. It'll stay Lords ball. Took away an easy look, though. Seven-point game. We are back to single digits, and we're down to 5. Terueo.
Yeah, you've been talking about those long baseline out of bounds passes. With both teams playing zone, both kind of offenses have been happy to just throw it out there. On that play, it was the inbounder just kind of snuck into that soft part of the zone after getting the ball out, and then it was a layup. So it took a little while to adjust, but I just can't believe how these last few minutes have gone here for Strathcona. It was looking like dire straits, and now they're right back in it. They can make this a one-possession game here going into half.
Amanagawan stepped out of bounds. Okale puts up a bit of a wild shot out of the post there. There's a little bit of contact as well. Okale wants a foul, not going to get it. Sometimes you feel that contact and then you go up with it no matter what to try to get yourself to the free throw line. Boy, a little bit of trouble bringing it up court here for the Rebels. Klimek, just 6 seconds to work. Outside to Besenius, lets off a 3. Ball out of bounds. Clock hits zeros. And that will do it for the first half. Jasper Place Rebels were dominant for a while, but the Lords with a big run right at the end of the second quarter. Eric, it's just a 5-point game going into halftime.
What a great surge from Strathcona to get right back into it, have an opportunity to lay up to there, get it to one possession. But I still think if you're Jasper Place, you've got to be absolutely thrilled what you did on the defensive end. And yeah, some of your mistakes on offense were kind of punished there from Strathcona at the end, but still the half-court defense of Jasper Place has been championship caliber. So they've got to feel good. Strathcona's got to feel like, okay, we got a little, we saw what we can do. We can play fast, get those opportunities on the offensive glass. Like, they've got to be feeling okay too, but I think this is setting up for a great second half.
Tight game so far. Rebels 31, Lords 26. SSA Game of the Week. Metro City Championships. Rebels lead by 5.
Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
Edmonton Expo Centre. It's been a good game so far. Connor Toffin and Eric Fawcett on this IC Live Procast SSA Game of the Week. Last time these two teams matched up, Jasper Place won 56-51, a 5-point win. At the halftime, Jasper Place up by 5 points, 31-26. It is the Metro City Championships here in the women's Division 1. Eric, it was a pretty interesting first half. I think we've seen momentum play a big part of it. Rebels were dominating for large portions, but one big run kind of around the 4-minute mark of the second quarter, and all of a sudden the Lords cut what was almost all game long a double-digit deficit, and we're back to 5.
Yeah, for two of the best programs in the province that both really pride themselves on the defensive side first, I suppose we shouldn't be too surprised by a 31-26 half. But I think at this point, when you're thinking about, okay, what adjustments will be made, what was just talked about in the locker room, I think that probably the question is, okay, what is the strategy here to get some points?
Lords will have first possession. Omiyayi drives, quick bounce pass into the corner. Baseline drive stopped. That was Tedaweo. Could be some room to work here for Omiyayi, but taken away immediately by Basenius. And it'll be Rebels ball.
Yeah, 3 straight drives. Baseline, kicked it out, drove baseline, kicked it out, drove baseline, kicked it out. That's exactly where Jasper Place wants the drives to go. Their help is loading towards it, meeting them early, and there's movement, there's some pressure on the rim, but Jasper Place totally under control on the defensive end.
Tons of pressure from Tedaweo. Takes a bit of a spill, though. Backer will pull the 3. Rims out. Omiyayi working in transition. Straight to the hoop. Little Euro step action. Rebounded. And couldn't quite follow from Friedley. Klimek. Backer. Ostararo, and it's taken away by the Lords. Shepard. Running out of space there was Tedaweo. It'll be Rebels ball.
Pass just came a little bit late, and a chance to convert is gone, but they get another chance here as uncharacteristic turnover from Jasper Place.
Friedley goes right back to Shepard. Goes down to Friedley again, high off the backboard, rebounded by Okale. Never quite got it in her grasp, and then it was tipped out by the Rebels. It'll stay Lord's ball.
And there's going to be hardly any time on the shot clock, so because it was turned over in the backcourt, Strathcona got the ball with only 14 seconds. It goes quick. Now this got to be quick, and they find it.
Boy, they almost found a shot, never hit the rim, so a shot clock violation
I feel like she was almost surprised at how open she was. Really good look in there. Again, it's been so tough for both teams to get any good looks around the rim off these baseline out of bounds plays, creating all those long passes out. And we'll see a technical foul here in the direction of the Strathcona bench.
Technical foul called against the Lords coach Kyle Palmer. First technical.
Will be called directly on Coach Kyle Palmer. Didn't quite catch what
First of the
specifically he was upset about, but it did look like there could have been a foul call on that.
Right.
That play where the defender came from the backside to contest that shot. We were talking about how they got such an open look, and
Hasn't really been a ton of animation on either of the benches so far, so felt like it kind of came out of nowhere. Sometimes it boils up into a technical foul. Kind of a little bit of a rogue one there. Oakley will tip it away. Lords in transition. Tedaweo, long pass across, got tipped, but still finds its way to the hands of Shepard. Shepard puts it up and in.
great drive, dangerous skip. And again, like I said, a lot of times when Jasper Place sends those drives baseline, they're able to recover out of it, but so much pace on that drive and physicality. It's able to get on the backboard and score.
Klimek. Boy, finds an opening around the mid-range, tries the bounce pass, was looking to get it to Holt. And it went off the foot of a Lord. It'll stay Rebels ball, but only 2 seconds to go on the shot clock.
Yeah, they should be able to get something quick just because Strathcona is playing a zone here. So see if they can get an uncontested look. They do.
Vesenius with a heave. That one didn't stand too much of a chance. Kind of something to watch for, though. There's been a few times in this game already where the shot clock or game clock has been down to 1 or 2, and half a second even we've seen a full court heave at the end of the first half. Late in the season, these teams got good chemistry. They know how to work quickly. Bounce pass on a nice baseline cut. And Omayayi will draw the foul.
Yes, that's really nice from Skona. That's really nice from Kyle Palmer. Get that first side action, and then on the reversal, it's actually a designed backdoor play. And of course, it's all on Omayayi to sell it, that she's coming towards the ball, then slips backdoor. So really like that play call. Not sure we've seen that one before, and really well executed.
Omayayi misses the first. Trying to bring it back to a one-possession game here with 7:29 to go in the second quarter. And just like we've seen, I think almost every other time from the free throw line, first one won't go, second one will.
Yeah, I'll say home court advantage for this color commentator who's gotten to watch watch a whole lot of this in the last couple of years with the Edmonton Stingers.
Backer getting hounded by Shepard. We got a foul in the direction of Shepard.
Foul count against Strathcona Lords number 6, Lauren Shepard. First personal foul.
Rebels will have 14 seconds to work. Caitlin Klimek. Backer. Posterero. Backer again. Quick passing. Klimek needs to find a shot. Quick pass outside. Holt for 3 won't go. Long rebound taken by Basaneas. Down low, it's tipped back in, but they'll say that Klimek did step on the baseline when she took off. It'll be Lord's ball. Three-point game. Lords could tie it for, I believe, the first time since 0-0. Rebels have been in the lead the whole way. That shot won't go. Rebounded by Backer. Felt a little bit of pressure along the baseline, but able to work it out. Posterero leading the offense this time. Backer. Backer's going to drive. Backer puts it up with the right and in.
Playing in so much length, we've seen a lot of block shots. We've seen a lot of misses at the rim. That was a really nice get a piece of the paint. Under control, 2 feet, floater. Smart finish and really nice high-low action from the flash. Playing against the zone. Strathcona's been looking for that all game. That's the first nice clean execution, and we'll see if they go to that again.
That last 2 for the Rebels was their first basket of the second half. Their only other point came on that technical free throw, but Oakley responded immediately. Shot clock down to single digits. Posterero driving, poked by Oakley. As this game's gone on, we didn't see too much of Oakley early, and kind of her play as it's gotten better has really driven this Lords to bringing it back to within 3.
Her ability to either just get to her right hand and get a hook shot whenever possible, get offensive rebounding, wow, what a finish, has been huge. So that's going to be big for Strathcona to come back. But again, on the other end, taking contact and finishing strong. Posterero.
Lords, number 4, Avery Glasgow, second personal foul. Substitution into the game for the Rebels, number 10, Cacho Capriri.
Cajo Caprire will check back into the game. Posterero looking to make it a 3-point play. And will convert the and one. Back to an 8-point lead all of a sudden for the Rebels. Long over the head pass across the court. Another contested ball. Oakley and yet another tie-up, another jump ball. Lysanias for the Rebels, and the arrow will go to the Rebels.
Felt like the first half we talked about the kind of the flow of the game, I was getting up and down. A lot more stoppages now, teams both getting to set their defense. Little different pace.
Looked like Amanagawan thought about the 3. Thought better of it. Here's Backer. Not a lot of time to work. Backer has it poked away. Shepard goes over the back. There's a foul called against the Lords. That's Shepard again. On the push.
Number 6, Lauren Shepard, second personal foul.
Palmer not happy with that call either.
Yeah, with five seconds on the shot clock at the time of the foul. Just could have played it out.
A 3 won't go. Backer on the attempt, and now the Lords trying to work quickly the other way. Terueo. Here's a 3 for the Lords. Won't go. Rebound taken by Glasgow. Shepard. 10 seconds to work. Tries to go down to Oakley, and is poked away by Caprire.
Caprire was doing a really good job on that kind of half, three-quarter front. There was just no angle for that pass to go through, so really good job by her individually. And if you're Strathcona, you've just got to see that angle for entering the ball isn't there.
Travel called against Klimek.
Also into the game, number 10, Elliot Friedley.
Glasgow drives the baseline, doubled. Quick pass up top and a shot. Won't go. 3's not falling for the Lords right now. Into the corner. Lysanias. That one doesn't go either. Quick pass up to Omiyayi. To the hoop and one. Well, the 3's haven't been going in either way. Omiyayi picks it up the hard way. Chance to convert on the 3-point play.
Yeah, she had that really good left-hand finish and transition in the first half. This time slows up a bit, feels where her defender is, and instead of trying to get it up quick with their left hand, goes off a 2, goes up strong, and is able to get the hoop and the harm. So really smart play in transition.
Free throw won't go, but maybe even better for the Rebels. They get the rebound. That was Glasgow. Fake on the 3. Up from Olsen off the backboard. Another offensive rebound for Glasgow. 8 seconds to work still. Poked away and a foul. Will go against the Rebels. Looks like it's against Klimek. A little bit of a chop on the arm.
Yeah, it's a break for Strathcona. Klimek was all over that, coming right out of the blind spot. Put herself in perfect position to poke away the ball, but just caught a little bit of arm. But you mentioned three-point shot. Entering this game, I thought it was going to play a massive role in this game. It really hasn't. Both teams haven't been able to have an advantage there. This has been a game played mostly around the rim. We'll see if that changes here, though.
On cue. Terueo with the 3. Back to a 3-point game. Got the lead right in half.
And if you're Strathcona, I think you need to do that. That's what's been great for you all season. Really high 3-point rate. Try to go after the offensive glass if you don't hit it. That's where they're at their best once it gets to a half-court game.
Amanagawan tried to respond with a 3 of her own. Oh boy, big block. Almost, but a little bit of contact from Terueo will send Panaluk to the free throw line.
And Caprire just in a phone booth, kind of just like walking the tightrope in the corner. so difficult to kind of make anything happen out of there, and thought it was going to be a turnover, but she kept her composure and then saw the cutter. That was really good action from her.
Miss on the first, this one long.
We'll see if we see the regular recalibration we've seen after the first miss. Again, it's also just a note, not only is it a difficult kind of shooter's backdrop, but the end here is very different than the other end of the floor. So even if players got used to it in the first half, very different going to the other hoop.
One side a little more of a conventional stadium look with the seating. Scoreboard, some banners. Some windows up above. The other side kind of just a curtain and a screen with a bit of a stage. Not necessarily looking at the stage though while you're shooting. Shepard had it poked away. It is off of a Rebel. It'll stay Lord's ball. Foul called against the Rebels. Friedley able to work her way to the line.
It's good power basketball. Get a flash to the high post right out of the inbounds. Get high-low action. You can get 2 feet in the paint. You're often going to score or get fouled there. Just need to make these free throws count. And I also wonder, too, as we're in a one-possession game here, I mean, if this gets down to the wire, for both teams that have struggled from the free throw line, we know how important the free throw can play late in games, so that will be potentially something to watch out for.
Seen 9 fouls as well in this third quarter. Markedly more than we've seen pretty much in the whole first half. Scramble for the ball, kind of pinballing around a little bit, and finally ends up in the hands of Shepard. Shepard had it poked away, but got bumped first by Amanagawan.
So once again, these baseline drives forced by Jasper Place have been really, really effective. I think Strathcona got quite lucky on that one. It looked like that was about to be a clean steal coming from that blind spot, but there's a really good adjustment there offensively just to take that contact, but really, really good job by Jasper Place there to continue to force those baseline drives. And if you're Strathcona, you probably got to start filling behind, giving some more options out of it.
Second one won't go for Shepard. Reversal from what we've seen most of the game. Lords, though, able to get the turnover. Looked like Omayayi wanted to shoot, pass it up instead. Here's a shot from Tedaweo. Rims out. Gets poked away. A little bit of trouble here for the Rebels, and it's out of bounds. Clement couldn't quite keep it in, tried to save it.
Strathcona's just been knocking on the door of getting right back into this one and either tying or taking the lead. We'll see if this can finally be the possession they do it.
Third quarter, 2.5 minutes left to play. It's as tight as we've been since tip-off. That shot goes off the backboard. Another physical tie-up. Wokele sends Capuire to the ground.
I mean, Capuire just the perfect help defender for this defensive system. Just always meeting drivers. 2 hands up in the air. I've seen so many turnovers, so many block shots because of it.
Wokele's been involved in a lot of those tie-ups today, Eric, and she's won the physical battle at least in seemingly all of them. Strong player. None of them dirty, but tell you what, can't feel good for the Rebels going down to the floor probably 4 or 5 times today.
No, and we'll maybe start to see the effects of that here late in the second. You can definitely see the key rotations both coaches have locked in on.
Lucenius, it's in! And 1.
Great focus there. Really just rainbow loops that shot over the shot blocker, and on the follow through takes one right to the face. That's a big play just as Strathcona was trying to come back in the game.
Free throw won't go. Wokele on the rebound. Shepard, long pass to Omayayi. Shepard in the post, kind of throws it wildly down low. It's blocked, and there's a foul called against Capuire.
That pass from Lauren Shepard, it was almost like she threw her forward open, you would say in football, just kind of put it into space. Looked pretty dangerous, but then it was a clean catch, so really creative. I have really enjoyed Lauren Shepard's game. Tough nose guard.
Friedley hoping to cut the lead in half. 4 down to 3. Now looking to make it 2. Can't convert on the second. Postorero. 90 seconds to go in the third quarter. Postorero. Klimek. Usenius will take the 3. Bottoms.
Beautiful job to get the feet set on that skip, that long pass, and nothing but net. And in a game that's so low scoring, these 3-point shots feel like they're worth double.
Oakley gets fouled. Looked like Holt might have got an arm onto the hand of Oakley.
Fouls coming against Rebels number 11, Abby Holt. First personal foul. Substitution entry the game for
Both teams at 5 fouls, both teams into the bonus. Oakley will have 2 chances at the line. Good on the first.
number 12, Alfreda Okulie.
And Oakley short on the second. Another fight for the rebound. Rebels really dominated on the glass in the first half. Especially offensively, it's gone a little more in the Lords' direction here in the third quarter. Postereros. Lucenius now a 3. Off the fingertips of Paneluk, and Lords come down with the rebound. Still at a 5-point game, just where we started in this third quarter. Bounce pass, mid-range jumper. Taken by Friedley, won't go. Offensive rebound for Omiyayi. Omiyayi goes up, lots of contact. We'll say it's out of bounds off Omiyayi, no whistle. And the Rebels will get possession. 7 seconds separating shot clock and game clock. Lords still bringing some full court pressure. Looks like the Rebels are kind of used to it right now. Postorero. Usenius into the corner. Defense closing quickly. It's tipped away by Tedaweo and no room to work along the baseline. Shot clock will reset to 14.
Really good defense from Tedaweo, though. As that ball gets swung to the corner and everyone has to rotate, she's got the toughest rotation on as a backside guard, cracking down on the post, and did a great job to go and get the basketball.
Up with the right hand. A little bit of improv there from Paneluk, but it'll go. 7-point lead for the Rebels late. 4 seconds to go in the third quarter. Lords looking for a buzzer beater. Thrown up with the right, it won't go. And we end the third quarter with the Rebels up by 7. Well, they were up by 5 to start, kind of back and forth here in the third quarter we go. And Eric, 10 more minutes. Rebels with a lot of work to do, but currently in the lead, looking for the Metro City Championship.
Yeah, it remains a defensive battle here. Nothing has come easy, and even when Strathcona kind of kept knocking on the door, Jasper Place just would not allow them quite back in the game. And now, like you said, overall good quarter there for Jasper Place, just to hold on to that lead, extend it a little bit.
One last break. We got 1 quarter left to play. Rebels up by 7.
Across Alberta, school sport is more than just competition. It's about community, developing character, and growth. We are proud to unveil our new name, School Sport Alberta. Rooted in integrity, driven by access, and powered by opportunity, this new brand reflects our commitment to every athlete, coach, and school across the province. From championship events that inspire, to mentorship for athletic directors, to new opportunities for participation, we are building something stronger, together.
School Sport Alberta is here to lead with purpose.
Connect with pride and champion the value of school sport.
Alberta's beef producers work tirelessly to raise top quality beef and bring the best in nutrition to the plate. With unmatched nutritional value, beef fuels your body with important health benefits, vitamins, and minerals. Beef is protein-packed to keep muscles strong, helps to combat infections with zinc in every bite, and its iron content helps to enhance focus. Learn how Alberta producers are raising the best beef.
Ten more minutes to go. Jasper Place Rebels, Strathcona Lords. It's a 46-39 lead for the Rebels here in the Metro Athletics Division 1 Women's City Championship. Connor Toffin and Eric Fawcett on the call on this IC Live Procast. It's also the SSA Game of the Week. Been a tight one so far, back and forth in the third quarter.
This game has definitely been played to Jasper Place's style. Lower possession, lower score, and when Jasper Place is on, they just suffocate you. Every possession feels like an absolute slog, and kind of been talking about like the spurtability of a Strathcona, but we haven't quite seen that run in the second half, and they're going to need one.
Poked away by Oakley. Basketball pinballing around for a moment. Oakley finally collects. Knocked ahead, and it's hit out of bounds by Abby Holt. Also do want to take a moment to thank the Sport, Physical Activity and Recreation branch of the Ministry of Tourism and Sport with the Government of Alberta, who's a funding provider to the SSA. The funds received from this area of the government are put towards enhancing the quality of life for Albertans. Klimek. Busenius. Player goes down, they'll call it a charge. Offensive foul against Busenius. Shepard drew it.
Yeah, Shepard had to earn that one. Took a good shot to the face almost, it looked like.
Talked about the strength of the Rebels and their rebounding. We've seen so far even a smaller player like Grace Backer. She'll hop in on the boards as well. It's a whole team effort.
Backer's kind of quietly played a really, really good game. Hit a big three, but even before that, thought she's been playing a really good game on the offensive side.
Shepard forced into a wild shot. Foul for that follow one in from Shepard. Will go leave against the Rebels.
Just before that, Tedaweo kind of creates that play by firing an absolute rocket from the left wing into the post. That one is seeing eyes on a rope. Such high basketball IQ she's shown in this game.
Tedaweo quickly down to Oakley. Oakley contested by Holt, left with no room. It's a turnover, and the Rebels take back possession.
Substitutions entering the game for the Lords. Number 4, Emily Klimek, and number 10. Number 4, Avery Glasgow, and number 10, Elliot Freely.
Klimek will go to Busenius, not who you want to leave open. A three for Ambry. The lead back to double digits for the Rebels. Quick follow on the two. Good response there for Omoyayi. Pastorero. Defended by Omoyayi. Busenius looking forward again, banks it in.
Yeah, you said it on the last one. That's not the one you want to leave as a defense. But then Jasper Place goes back to a flare play, screening the back of her defender to get her a wide open look. And again, she almost seemed like she was surprised at how open she was. Banked it in, but that'll count all the same. But I love she hits that corner three. And what does Jasper Place do next time down the floor? Gets a flare play for her. And danger time starting to come in here maybe for Strathcona, who's seeing a 10-point lead in a game like this feels like double that much.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's in such a defensive battle so far. A 10-point lead, especially in modern basketball, with the way players shoot now, 10 points is nothing. I mean, even at the end of the second quarter, we've seen a double-digit lead almost erased really quickly in just the span of a few minutes. But when you take into account how this game has been played as a whole, as you mentioned, 10 points feels like a lot, but not necessarily time for the Lords yet to start chucking up threes or working too quickly. With 7:42 to go.
No, certainly not that level of danger, but I do like the timeout here. There's no sense in trying to save them all for the final minutes in case you might need them to advance the ball. Those situations will figure us out. You got to make sure you're in those one-possession games before anything else. So really interested to see what Kyle Palmer does here. Try to generate a score. And start to see in the gym the St. FX men's team, who will play after this, has taken seats in the second row. See the Strathcona men's team on behind this near basket getting loose.
Fans starting to pile in from either side. Strathcona well represented tonight in the Division I finals. As you mentioned, men's team will be playing as well. Tipped and taken away. Busenius again on the defensive end. Defenders everywhere. Will go to Backer and will quickly swing it to Postorero. Backer again, a three. Nearly goes. Strathcona pulls down the rebound. 10-point game with 7 minutes to go. Shepard loses her dribble. Tie up. And possession will go to the Rebels. Backer, defended by Shepard, goes down to the corner. Klumek out to Postorero. Stops her dribble. Busenius open again. This one won't go. Made her last 2 attempts from 3. Lords needed that one to miss. Here's a chance on the other end. Tough lay for Omayayi.
Tough finish, but she's been a spark in transition whenever she's got the opportunities. Seen some big plays for her on the break.
Backer will go to Postorero. Backer again. Lords still staying in that zone defense. And this time it'll result in a turnover. Tedueo, long pass across to Shepard. Shepard goes up, defended by Holt. Back to the corner. Tedueo up top. Here's a three. Lords needed. Banks out.
That's about as good of a look as you could hope for. And Tedueo making great decisions with the ball, first in transition and then on that kind of secondary action, but making shots just has not been easy for Strathcona tonight.
Open mid-range from just inside the free throw lane. Won't go for Holt. Omayayi in traffic, puts it up. Boy, a lot of contact there on the fight for the rebound. Looks like Elliot Friedley took some contact, and it's in on the other end. Klimek for the Rebels leads back to double digits. As I mentioned, looked like Friedley rather, maybe took a shot up high. Might have a bit of a nosebleed, or not sure if there was a shot to the jaw, so Friedley will have to check out.
Yeah, it's a big loss as we're see just over 5 minutes remaining. Don't want to lose her for too often. They're going to try to get that bleeding stopped as quickly as possible.
If a player is actively bleeding, can't play with blood on the jersey, can't play if you are bleeding, just a safety thing. And so I don't believe there's been a timeout called by either team here, but they're going to stop the game. Might have had some blood fall on the court is my best guess. Don't see any where Friedley took a shot, but they're taking a mop close to the bench. And once again, just for safety, we'll bring out the Lysol and get the couple drops off the court.
Have to note the incredible work of our in-house announcer. He's out there, gloves on, helping clean up the scene. So shout out to him. He's getting a little bit of applause here. He does a great job at all kinds of basketball events around the city, university games, Stingers games. So nice to see his work here acknowledged as well as he jumps in to help things out on the cleanup crew.
Lords now down by 12. That one tipped out. Friedley, by the way, did not check back in. Rebels have been stout defensively when they needed it most here in the fourth quarter. Shot clock down to single digits. Tedaweo. Defenders everywhere for the Rebels. They'll take it back. Klimek will leave it for Backer. Managawan. Capuire. Here's a three for Basnias. And got fouled. It'll be 3 free throws for Ambry Basnias.
A dangerous shooter. We've seen her make a couple, but that would have been a difficult one. Now gets to go get some easy ones at the free throw line. Have to wonder if this one gets stretched out to, it's going to say 15, but still any points here just become, it's starting to seem like quite the uphill climb here for Strathcona.
Yeah, a little different in a high-scoring game when you're down by 12. When threes are going either way, might feel a little easier, but Lords have gone through some scoring droughts throughout the game, and they are in one now. 4.5 minutes left to go, down by 14. You need shots to fall. Game not over yet, but it is close. Got a whistle on the floor. Foul will go against the Rebels.
I think a few of the players thought it was a step on the out-of-bounds line because we've seen that so much. Jasper Place is forcing Strathcona to do exactly what they want, and it looks like shell drill. It looks like defense right now as the ball's flying around. Jasper Place is just allowing the ball exactly where they want. Everyone's shifting on the flight of the ball. It's just been such an incredibly impressive performance by Jasper Place here defensively.
Timeout called by the Lords. Neither team in foul trouble yet either. That's specifically good news for the Rebels, just with 3 in the quarter. Maybe one way to come back. Get to the foul line as much as you can, stop the clock, rack up some points quick, although nothing has been easy, even from the free throw line. It's been nothing but free tonight.
Yeah, worth noting as well, even Strathcona, just one team foul at the moment. They'd love to get it close enough that, maybe they would have to send some people to the line, especially with the way that free throw shooting has been so difficult. So we'll see if that comes into play. I've also heard a couple of times in transition, Kyle Palmer, head coach, saying, take one, right. Try to use a foul before they're in the act of shooting. And they haven't quite gotten the execution on that one, but that's another advantage you have right now if you're Strathcona. If you do give up something in transition, before there's a chance at a layup or anything like that, if you can make an aggressive play at the ball, or if they need to trap and really aggressively get a steal, got a couple fouls to play with here.
Quick three is short from Shepard. Ball still bouncing around. Okale trying to hustle back for it, but bounced out just in time for the Rebels.
Strathcona's went away from their full-on kind of trapping full-court press. Showing a little bit more pressure here, but I do wonder if they've got to start at some point sending those traps. But hey, that'll actually do. You slow them down enough, get that 8-second call. That'll do just fine too.
Long pass across. This is Shepard. Down to the corner. Back to Shepard once again. Defended by Posterero. Puts one up with the right. Won't go. Oakley trying to save it. Never hit the rim, so it's a shot clock violation.
Yeah, just, again, another incredible defensive possession. Everyone moving on those skip passes. Basanias was guarding the entire floor. X'd out. Rotated on her own.
Got poked out by a Lord. And Managawan attempting to drive. And a timeout called by the Rebels. Like you said, might as well use them, right? Even if you're up by 14, see something you don't like, call a timeout. You never know when the run can happen. This is around the time in the first half that we've seen the Lords go on a big run. They were down by double digits, kind of around the same mark. Down by 14 now, still a chance. But right now it feels like the Rebels, just their defensive play this game has just been a little too much to overcome. It's just been suffocating. There's no room to dribble, no room to pass, no room to shoot. It has been, as you've mentioned, kind of exactly the game that the Rebels wanted to play coming in.
Yeah, it's been masterful to watch, really. I know this isn't the highest scoring, maybe conventionally most exciting basketball game, but I'm watching each of these half-court possessions defensively from Jasper Place and just been so impressed both with the individual players and their talents and their desire to defend at a high level, but also, again, the way they're playing as a team, the system that they've kind of executed, played with a little bit more zone in the first, and then in the second have just been able to stay kind of in their base coverage, send everything to the baseline, move on skips, and it's been great. The ball wasn't in yet before Jasper Place started their action. Got a little quick, and they had the layup under the rim.
They try to move
Didn't
it to
see
Backer.
it.
Taken away by Tedawale. Bounce pass over to Omayayi. Had to collect it for a moment. Rebels defense got back into position, but Omayayi with a tough finish.
Yeah, what a break for Strathcona. Again, to get the kind of two chances for Jasper Place, then they're kind of out of rhythm. They had a cutter under the rim for an automatic two. It gets thrown out, and it's a layup on the other end. And that's kind of what Strathcona's going to need now. Another turnover, see what they can force something. And there you can see that aggressive take foul. Mentioning that Kyle Palmer was talking about those in transition early. At this point, no point in really saving it. Be aggressive. Try to get those turnovers. If you commit a foul there, no problem. They're inbounding it. Try to go get a steal again.
This Rebels team has a lot of talent. Busenius, Backer, and Posterero, all members of Team Alberta. Busenius also committed to the University of Saskatchewan. Abby Holt committed to the University of Victoria as the leads cut back to 10. Haven't really mentioned Holt's name a lot tonight, but she's played a lot of minutes, kind of that glue girl. Oakley tried to block it, but caught a piece of the arm of Posterero. She'll go to the line.
Yeah, you mentioned some of the commitments. Again, just the amount of talent on the women's side right now in Edmonton, in Alberta. Not only are there, 5 or 6 are already committed and probably going to be more of them U Sport players on the floor, but premier U Sport programs, like going to some of the best in Canada West. So it really is an incredible treat to see all this talent on the floor, and I just can't think of another example of just how talented, the level, the quality of women's basketball is in Edmonton right now.
Ball got caught up in the feet of Omayayi for a moment. Layup wouldn't go. Boy, if that one would have went, we're back to an 8-point game with 2.5 minutes left. Now the Lords need a stop. Backer will swing it to Klimek. Quick pass back to Posterero. What a pass, what a look for Abby Holt.
Nice to see Abby Holt rewarded with a nice easy one. As you mentioned before, she's doing a lot of the dirty work, playing a lot of minutes, being really physical on the inside. Sometimes it's nice to see those players rewarded for room service dime there when she was able to lay it in softly.
Klimek defense of Shepard, physical all over Klimek. Now a shot from Backer, won't go. Lords tried to save it, maybe thought it was off of them, and now they'll come down with a rebound. This is Friedli back into the game. Remember, she left earlier. Taken away from Oakley by Busenius, trying to go end to end and does. Busenius, is that the icing on the cake? 14-point lead for the Rebels. Been talking a lot about the offense of Busenius, but it's been the defense that's maybe made just as big of an impact. And that time, Abby Holt with the takeaway.
Yeah, she's been fantastic. Leader on both sides, and she watches back on the game. I think, yeah, to see the threes, not only that she hit them, but the time she hit them.
Yeah,
really ballooned that lead when she went back-to-back with those threes. How good she's been in that defensive system, able to guard multiple positions.
The shot selection from the Rebels today as well. They've stared down a couple longer threes that maybe you want to take in a game like this, try to have a special moment, but it's been good team basketball, and as a result, lots of passing. They've opened up with a lot of threes, some open mid-rangers as well. Here's a look for Shepard, makes it.
As mentioned, Busenius committed to University of Saskatchewan, just an absolute power at the women's side. Perennial national championship contender, multiple championships, former national team head coach. So when a player gets to that level, you know that they're truly one of the best in Canada, and I think we're seeing why with how she's played in this one.
Taken away by Tedaweo. Quick look down the right to Omayayi. Goes up with the right and in. 39 seconds to go. Lead back to 10. Oh boy. Into the air goes Tedaweo. Went over top of Backer, and one of those plays you're just happy to see both players get up. Credit the effort for Tedaweo. Made an impact on today's game. That is her 5th foul, so she'll leave.
I mean, in another universe, she finishes this game with like 12 assists.
Yeah.
I think some of the reads she's made in transition, in the half court, finding shooters, finding cut. I thought she played a really good, really intelligent game. And even you've kind of seen the last possession, yeah, picked up fouls, but yeah, she saw like I've got to gamble here and look for a turnover. So, yeah, that's a player I've been really impressed with. Though the stat line is not going to look too stellar. I mean, film-wise, really good game.
Rebound taken by Postorero. Rebels anxiously awaiting the final buzzer.
That'll be another 8-second call. Is kind of the start where Jasper Place was just kind of looking to let some of the clock out. It's a little too casual, but this one is maybe all but decided.
Lords with one last chance on offense. Here's Shepard. Puts up the 3, won't go. Rebound taken by Postorero. They'll move it to Busenius. The Jasper Place Rebels are Metro Athletic Division I Women's Champions.
Just a really dominant 40 minutes of basketball. They put their imprint on the way that this game was going to be played. They slowed it down. They made it a defensive game. They dominated in that setting and were very opportunistic with what they were able to do offensively. Just a really impressive game for not just these players on the court, but the coaching staff, the culture that they have built at Jasper Place, one of the best in Western Canada.
Jasper Place ranked number 2 in the province. They were 23-3 through the regular season. We'll remember some of those, but none will be as memorable as this. Stick around, we will have the trophy presentation. It kind of felt like all night, the Lords had their moments in this game and they gave a good effort. They stayed in it, they made it competitive, but in the end, the Rebels just too much.
I think you always wonder when you play a game, you mentioned right away on the broadcast, playing in an unfamiliar setting. Playing at the Expo Centre here, professional gym, very different than any high school, any league game, any tournament game you played. So when that happens, you always wonder about some things such as the shooting, and it just wasn't there for Strathcona on this night, and weren't able to do the offensive rebounding that they are sometimes able to really dominate with, but still great effort from them.
You think back to earlier on as well in the game, and I think in the end, you're going to look at Busenius, and it was a great game from her on both ends, but no one today, as you look down the lineup, everyone that was on the court, no one played bad. No one had a slew of turnovers. No one was a hole on defense. Even when you look in earlier in the game, we didn't see as much of a player like Capuire later, but she had 3-4 blocks right off the tip-off. You think about what 8 points would have done for the Lords if those shots go in. It was really just a whole team effort today for the Rebels, and kind of allows a star player like Busenius the ground to go and be dominant on offense and defense.
Yeah, I think that speaks to head coach Lauren Green and the style of play that Jasper Place has, where everyone knows their role and they execute in it, and it's not something where offensively the ball was sticking with one player and someone was just getting a bunch of ball screens. Something I've kind of noticed, especially with so much zone, like we didn't see a lot of the kind of ball screen play we see so much in modern basketball. So it was an unselfish effort offensively, and then defensively, every Jasper Place player just unbelievably locked into what their role was on every single play, and just can't get over some of those possessions where the ball was moving for 24 seconds from Strathcona, but there was no real pressure, no real threat to the defense breaking down, and it just speaks to all of these players that executed at such a high level and kept their focus.
Once again, be sure to stick around. Strathcona Lords men's team, ranked number 7 provincially, will be facing off in the men's Division I championship against St. Francis Xavier, ranked number 1. But they have lost 22-1 on the year. Always kind of reminded as well in these medal presentations, it's a lot more than just players and coaches. It's school staff, it's trainers, it's team managers, it's the parents of these players and the volunteers that'll chip in throughout the year. That can lead to the success of a team like Strathcona or Jasper Place.
Yeah, and you saw both teams very well supported here with so many fans of both teams, family, friends, like you mentioned. Really good atmosphere in here. I mean, it's a big arena, but man, it was loud with just how many people were cheering things on.
Number 2, Grace Becker. Number 3, Caitlin Klimek. Number 4, Emily Klimek.
The moment never really felt too big today for the Rebels. We talked earlier on, right off tip-off, that sometimes you can expect to see nerves in a game like this. I would say from either team, we didn't really see too many nerves. But the Rebels really, it was that early run in the game. They took that double-digit lead just a few minutes in and then never really let it go. It didn't take them, there was no feeling out process.
No.
For the Rebels today. It was buckets right away.
I think when you see so many of these players as well, something we didn't talk about was just how many players on both teams, but Jasper Place that do also play high-level programs in the summer, have Team Alberta experience. Both of these teams play in, host really, really competitive tournaments. I mean, I remember going and watching both of these teams play earlier in the winter when there was, huge crowds and loud gyms playing competitive games, and it just gets to this point where they're not as phased as some teams might have been by the atmosphere, and I think that speaks to these players. It also speaks to these programs that put all these players in position to not be flustered and be ready for these big moments. And overall, again, just speaks to the level of basketball right now on the women's side in Edmonton.
As they receive the championship banner and the championship trophy as implemented supremacy in Division I for girls basketball.
Busenius, Caitlin Klimek, and Abby Holt will take the banner for the Rebels.
Fans, thank you all for your attendance.
It's a night of celebration for Jasper Place.
Congratulations once again to both
Rebels win it
teams.
63-51. Jasper Place is Metro champions.